You know that feeling you get when you're driving down the road and you see all the cars passing you by? It's a feeling of smallness, realizing that every single car is full of people with lives as vivid and complex as your own. This feeling is called sonder. Everyone around us is living their own lives, and come on, you have to wonder what their story is, right? Everyone has their own memories of running around on their unbalanced toddler legs and riding a bike for the first time as a child, or even having a memory of a dumb decision you made in high school. It's called growing up for a reason. You make these memories to learn and grow, and once you're grown, you share your wisdom with the loved ones around you. And today, I would like to share with you the stages of life. Birthing and infancy is the first stage of life, as you would want to call it. Birthing roughly takes place 40 weeks after getting pregnant in good situations. Babies are remarkable, actually. They can hear and see like we do, but they have a hard time comprehending everything that goes on. They can't cry, but they can scream and holler for what they want. Tears actually can't be created until about 3 weeks in after being born. And to think like a baby is really to think nothing at all. So when you're sitting there making googly eyes at them, they're probably just, they don't know what you're doing, so they're laughing for no reason. Infancy and being a toddler, you have an unlimited source of energy, and while in our English class, we may rely on the word of the day, a 2-year-old manages around 5 to 6 words new in their vocabulary each and every day. Their speech is more prominent with 7 to 12 months after being born, and walking happens around 12 to 15 months, maybe even earlier. And this is when you need to child-proof your house. I remember when my cousin was only 2 years old and she just learned how to walk, she just learned what pens were, and she liked to draw, but not on paper, on my walls. And I wasn't too happy about that when I came home. And the next stage is childhood. Childhood is where you start your imagination. It's where you learn social and technical skills. You're brutally honest about everything, so don't ever ask a child if you ever look fat in jeans, because they'll probably say yes. You learn the basics of living and tying your shoes and using the bathroom by yourself, and they take everything in that people have to give them. Like my little cousin, if my dad said that he took her nose, she'd believe him. But this is where they learn to create a mind of their own and create their own personalities. Next is the teenage years and adolescence. This is where stress, and more stress happens in high school and middle school and college. You believe that it's the end of the world if your boyfriend breaks up with you, or you get a bad grade on a test, but even though you can probably make it up the next week with homework assignments. It's where your hormones become more prominent, puberty happens, you learn how to take care of yourself, skincare, hygiene, different things like that. And hygiene some people need to take more of. But this is also where you start your social life and your work ethics. This is also where you make a name for yourself and you decide what you want to do with the rest of your life. And that's where it comes into adulthood, the second to last stage of life. This is where you make your money. It's where you've attained your full strength and your potential, because you have endless potential from the time you're born to now. This is where you establish your life and a home for yourself, a career, and from ages 20 to 35, it's where you create your home and your family life. From 35 to 50, it's contemplation about what you're supposed to do with the rest of your life as you're on this earth. And 50 through on, it's where you give your wisdom to others and you help guide others for the rest of their lives, basically. It's where you take your wisdom that you've learned growing up and you give them to the younger people growing up, because they're going to need it just like you needed it from your parents. Anyway, in conclusion, the stages of life are all the same for everyone mostly. What you do in the midst of these years, in the midst of your life, is up to you. We're all born with endless amounts of potential. What we decide to do with this potential is what truly matters in life. And I will leave you with one last thought. Life isn't what you always want it to be, but it's what you make. But if you make the most of it, it can be. Thank you.